Hey everybody, Tony Ivanov here, and today I'm going to go over a quick little video lesson on the top penny spikes of today. Now, if you've been following the market for the past week or even 2 weeks, you've known that we have had very low volume and very low volatility, meaning that there's not that many big spikes. There's some small moves, but they're not really worth putting your entire account into. They're not really worth the risk to trade them. We want to wait until we have these nice clean runners, and we just haven't seen those yet. Now today we did see like some life in the market. We saw BSPM go from 170 to 350, and we've seen AWX continue to squeeze a bit higher and higher, showing that there is some more buying confidence in the market. So I didn't take any trades today personally. I just sat back and watched. I didn't really want to risk trading after the past 2 weeks of having these fake out breakouts and just not good follow through. And now that I've seen these stocks BSPM, AWX, ADMA, and MTSL have some more life, I'm going to be a lot more willing to play these early morning breakouts, but still using small size until I really have the confidence of knowing that all of these low float morning spikers are going to really rip and run. Once that happens, I'll scale up my size back up to 5,000, 7,000 shares. But right now, I'm using only about 500 to 1,000 shares. So we're going to break down this lesson in the following video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do, please leave a like, leave a comment, and you can hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified for future videos already. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alrighty, so today is July 26, 2018, and we're going to go over some of the most recent penny stocks. Now, we're going to be using the gap scanner and the low float movers on TradeIdeas Pro. If you want to try out TradeIdeas Pro, it's definitely the best scanner I can recommend. It's around $90 a month, but it's made me thousands on my return. I highly recommend this scanner. It's super customizable, super useful. And then the window down here is equity feed. Now you don't need equity feed. I like to use equity feed just because it's able to give me news in pre-market, but it is a bit expensive, and you can do the same exact things here that you can do in TradeIdeas, but it doesn't have the news section. That's the only difference. But we're gonna go over AWX first because this was on my watch list. Now this is a watch list that I put out every single day, and the users of TradeBuddy will get this for free. And you can see I have AWX, LIFE, and this is supposed to be TAOP, not AWX. That's a typo. So AWX, why is this on our watch list? Now, if we just go over the daily chart of AWX, you can see that in its past recent history, it's had a gap up, morning spike, but then it couldn't hold its gains and sold all the way off. Gap up, morning spike, couldn't hold its gains, sold all the way off. Gap up, morning spike, so forth, you know. So what do shorts know about this play? They know that whenever it gaps up, it doesn't hold its gains. So on the first day when it started spiking up, I can probably assume that lots of short sellers were going pretty heavy on this spike because they know from recent history it does not hold its gains whatsoever. However, that's not what happened. It held its gains perfectly, and it's been squeezing on up for the past 3 days. Now you can see we have some areas of resistance that I've marked out, but the most important level of resistance on AWX that I can see right now is 578. Now, why is it 578? Well, let's just go look back at the history of AWX, and we can see that on this day here, June 2015, we had a very big volume candle that almost matches what we had today. So this day had 10.3 million shares traded. Let me see if I can get that to show up. There we go, 10.3 million shares traded, and the high of day was 577. So you can see that the line is at 578. I was a penny off. That's just fine. But why is this the most important level of resistance and not here at like the $5.95 or $6? Well, it all has to do with the volume. You can see that all of these days back here when it was near $6, it was on very low volumes. So that means that not that much trading happened there so it's not going to be a super significant level. However, on this day, because we had so much volume, so much trading going on, that's going to be a very hard level to break through. 10.3 million shares at a high of 578. That's going to be very significant resistance, and I'm sure that a lot of short sellers are going to really try and hold this price down underneath. Now, does that mean that AWX cannot spike through and break higher? Of course not. It's totally able to. It's had a run from the $2 up to the 569, and it just continues to grind higher and higher and higher, showing almost no signs of weakness. However, AWX is a hard stock to trade, and you really have to be able to buy into the dips and sell into the spikes, because you can see this price action is not clean whatsoever. The stock is very volatile, has a very low float of 3.02 million shares. So I've been recommending to all of my students and all of the members of TradeBuddy to buy into the dips, not on just AWX, but on all stocks across the board, because we have just not been seeing that breakout volume. Everything is breaking out, but then fakes out right away. And just a quick example of that is, right here, AWX. You can see we had this nice little bounce off of the previous high of day, yesterday's high of day at $4.50 area, and you can see it was holding this area pretty well, and it has got a massive explosion of volume, which is really hard to predict, because the minute prior to this was 19.9 thousand shares traded, and then the minute that it spiked was 331,000 shares traded. So very big pop in volume, and it got halted. Out of the halt, it spiked up through 516. It broke over pre-market high, but I was telling everyone, guys, don't chase this. We have not been seeing signs of breakouts working, so don't buy this breakout, especially after a halt. Sure enough, it does not hold up its gains, and then drops it all the way down to the $4 range within 15-20 minutes. Now that's very scary, and you don't want to buy these breakouts quite yet. However, we have seen today BSPM kind of change the trend. This is the first real morning spike we've seen in quite some time. You can see BSPM had no news whatsoever, has a low float of 1.78 million shares, and it had around 6.5 million shares of volume to it. That's pretty good volume for BSPM. And you can see we had almost no price action happen in pre-market, actually none whatsoever. And at the market open, for the first 20 minutes, it was kind of dead. But then around 10 a.m., where we see these low float like movers really start to move, we had a nice breakout over 170. And this actually popped up on my low float movers window. Let's just go back in time here, all the way back to the morning. So you can see the first thing that popped up was BPI. We'll go over that in a second. But then BSPM popped up at 6:53 a.m., so 9:53 market time, breaking out at 171. So that's right in this candle, and that's a very nice U-shaped breakout to buy on the morning spike. However, with the current market environment, I wasn't really too confident in buying this breakout, because we just have not been seeing breakouts work. But this one caught everyone off guard, and this one started to squeeze up rapidly. This one got lots of volume, got halted right above $2, and when this was halted, it only had around, I believe, like 238,000 shares traded throughout the day, which is very low for these low float spikes. So once this was halted, I was telling my live stream watchers and my chat room subscribers, guys, keep an eye on BSPM. This could be a very big ripper, mainly because it has such little volume and everyone is going to want to get into it. We haven't seen this type of momentum in quite some time, and people are going to get the fear of missing out, and they're going to want to chase and get into these plays. Sure enough, on halts, squeezes immediately from $2 up to 276, gets halted again. And in these two candles, it only added around 150,000 shares traded. So still, at this point, it was very low volume, probably around 450,000 shares. And in the next halt, it squeezed further. But I was telling all of my traders, guys, even though this is moving so much, it's not worth chasing it, because this is going to fall apart. This has no news, and this is a pure pump and dump. It's gonna collapse. And honestly, like 15 seconds after I said that, this collapsed. Like it sold off from 350 down to 250, got halted, and it was just, you know, downhill from there. So why do I like BSPM so much, even though I didn't trade it? By the way, I took no trades today at all. I was just watching the market, mainly because the current environment has just been really crappy to trade. So why do I like BSPM so much? Well, this is really going to give traders confidence in the next spike that shows up. So everyone who missed BSPM today is probably upset, saying, man, this past 2 weeks has been so slow, and I cannot believe I missed BSPM, which was an obvious spike. So because now they're getting emotional with their trading, they're going to want to get into the next one. They're going to chase the next morning spike that they see start to get volume, because they want to be in early. So what does that mean for us traders? We need to be proactive to get in on these early breakouts, on these morning spikes. So going into tomorrow, even though tomorrow is a very hard trading day since it's Friday, historically Fridays are very bad trading days. If I do see a morning spike like this have some volume go into it, I'm going to be more willing to buy 1,000 shares, maybe 1,500 shares. Not too heavy, because we don't know quite yet if the hot market is back. But seeing how BSPM went from 170 to 350, I am now willing to take the risk and see if this trade will work. Because the past 2 weeks, the biggest spikes we've had were like 25, 30%, maybe 50%, but they were so choppy. We have not seen this type of parabolic move in quite some time. BPI, same exact thing. BPI showed lots of strength today. BPI was an earnings winner, and you can see this one had a nice spike from $10.24 and ripped up to $12. Now, not nearly as big of a jump as BSPM, but shows some signs of strength. ADMA, same thing. This one had the same type of crazy volume pump that BSPM had, and this went from the 550s to 630. MTSL, same thing, showing some strength in the market. Now, MTSL is very hard to trade because of how volatile and choppy it is, but overall it shows strength. It went from 235 up to a high of 297. So seeing that we are having some more trading volume flow into these markets, and seeing that traders are really having the fear of missing out, going into tomorrow, I'm going to be a lot more willing to trade. So we'll see how I do tomorrow. I'm not going to be too aggressive by any means. And if I miss a good entry, I'm not going to want to chase the stock whatsoever, because we're just not seeing that type of volume flow through. But definitely top watches tomorrow. For sure, AWX, I'm very interested to see if this can squeeze higher, because if this can break out, say, over $6, then there's going to be a lot of shorts underwater, and this could go very parabolic. However, at the same time, AWX is very overextended. It has no news, so just be safe on it. I would still recommend on AWX to only buy into dips, just because we have not had clean follow through, especially on AWX. You can see how choppy this chart is on the 1 minute time frame. Just very hard to trade. But overall, very happy with today. Even though I didn't make any money, I was able to learn from the market, and now I'm more prepared for tomorrow. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.